The Toyota Sequoia has long been Toyota's answer to the growing American full-size SUV market. Originally launched in 2001, we've seen it evolve into its third generation. For 2025, the 1794 edition can now be paired with the TRD Off-Road Package, which means it's Western, it's luxurious, and comes ready to tackle the rough terrain on any ranch. Just bought your dream car or thinking about a new ride? Whether it's a brand new vehicle like the one featured in this video or your trusty everyday driver, our partners at legendarycarprotection.com have your back. Recommended by ClassicCars.com, they offer top-notch coverage for new cars as well as your current classic, collector, exotic, or daily driver. Because your dream car deserves a dream protection plan. Visit www.legendarycarprotection.com to get your free quote today. Alright guys, so off the bat, looking at the exterior, I'd love to hear what you think of the Lunar Rock paint. I think it looks really good, especially on the 1794 edition, because that's going to give you this big chromed out grille. I think it pairs together quite nice. It definitely looks like a luxurious Toyota. We've got some functional inlets on the left, on the right. We've got LED fog lights. We've got parking sensors in the front, a forward-facing camera right smack dab in the middle, just under the emblem. And at the very bottom, we've got this pretty big air dam, which to me is kind of surprising and defeats the whole purpose of this vehicle, because this Sequoia has been optioned with the TRD Off-Road Package. So what that's going to do is just make this a little more off-road friendly, off-road oriented. We've got some skid plates underneath. As we move on down to the side to look at the wheels, they look a little bit different because that package is going to get you 20-inch TRD wheels wrapped in some all-terrain Falcon Wild Peak wheels. And as we look at the shocks, they're painted red. They're Bilstein shocks. They've been tuned for off-road performance on this thing. We've got red CV axles and we've got running boards down the side. So definitely some off-road stuff going on, and I'm loving to see that. Overall, I think this is a great looking vehicle. It looks pretty rugged, but in a luxurious way. You can really see it in the mixture of black and chrome accents around the exterior, and I think Toyota has shaped one of the most well-rounded Sequoias to date. It's definitely mixing their new design language with that rugged, truck-based character that the model is known for.
Alright guys, so coming around to the rear end, I think it still looks pretty aesthetic and coherent. It matches the front, it matches the profile. I'm digging it. I'm actually really liking the styling this generation Sequoia is offering, especially if you also go for like the TRD Pro and get some bigger wheels. Man, these things have potential to look really freaking cool. So what we have here is that same pop glass mechanism that we've kind of seen before. Really cool, really easy. You know, if you've got your groceries and you're just doing some light shopping, throw your stuff in there and then shutter close. Love it. Very simple. We've got some parking sensors down below. Underneath some of this plastic is our tow receiver. This vehicle can tow a little more than 9,000 pounds. With it being a hybrid and producing a lot of torque, that is something I would expect, so I like to see that. What we also get on this trim is this little kick sensor here. So if we're out shopping with the family, maybe we've got our kids by their arms and groceries in the other hands, kick your foot. But what we're greeted to, guys, 22.3 cubic feet of space. That's not a whole lot. We do have some kind of workarounds, but honestly, not much. What we've got is this little net, but to be honest, I find it kind of just gets in the way more than it is helpful. But it is cool to have, maybe if you're into that. What we do have instead, though, is this little plank here, which I will demonstrate. Instead of using horizontal space to store your things, because the seats don't fold down perfectly flat, Toyota kind of has a workaround. You can store things vertically on this little shelf. And I want to say that the capacity, the weight capacity is around 230 pounds. So definitely not too shabby, but still a bit of a bummer when it comes to practicality for this new generation Sequoia. But what we can do is press these two little buttons. The seats will fold down. Unfortunately, not perfectly flat. We got a full view of our captain's chairs, but this is a good kind of view of what you could see if you were going to the airport or something and you folded the third row down. You've got a pretty lumpy storage area back here. Now you can obviously fold that second row down, but then there's a gap in the middle where the cup holders are, for the captain's chairs at least. So Definitely noteworthy this generation that storage capacity seems to just be not quite perfected. What we do have though is a 120 volt AC inverter, which is really cool. You can plug a whole bunch of stuff into there. We've got some more AC outlets. One thing that I think is really cool for the third row is there's a little cubby you can put your phone. You can see one USB-C charger in there, but the air conditioner actually goes through that little cubby, so your phone won't overheat, but also if you're sitting back there, just another place where you're gonna get some airflow. But with that being said, guys, that's pretty much it. I say we take a look at what is underneath the hood. All right, guys, let's open up the hood here. Check that out. Now that is a luxurious feature. So what we're looking at is not a V8 anymore. We've seen 2 generations of V8s in the Sequoia, but with all the V8s seeming to go away from Toyota, we are now rocking the most powerful iForce Max engine. This is the 3.4 liter twin turbocharged V6. It's paired with 1 electric motor. Total vehicle output is around 437 horsepower and 583 foot-pounds of torque. Of course, this is paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Love to see that. And for miles per gallon, you're looking at 22 on the highway and 19 in the city. Now, certainly is a lot of power going on this year.
Inside, the 1794 trim is unmistakable. I am just obsessed with this gorgeous saddle leather, and it looks perfect paired with these real wood accents. Both front seats are heated, ventilated, and courtesy of the 1794 package, even offer massage functions. Of course, the steering wheel is heated as well. Now imagine an early morning commute with the heated seat and massage feature on. Yeah, one thing's for sure, my commutes have been heavenly.
All right, guys, so as we're sitting on the interior, I've got to say I'm seeing a lot of luxury features that I would see in like a Lexus. For example, we've got a colored heads-up display, a digital rear view mirror, panoramic sunroof, JBL sound system. Those are just a few that I can name off the top of my, massage seats, are you kidding? So yeah, we're getting a lot with this new Sequoia. Now, with this being the TRD Off-Road Package, we'll find some fun things like this TRD wheel. We've got this TRD push to start button and some accents on our nice beefy shifter, which by the way feels real good in a new car, you know, putting these into drive. Love the way it feels. I'm also really digging the 14-inch infotainment screen. Of course, it's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible. Also really digging the climate control switches here. I am so sick of screens for trying to turn up the air conditioning in new cars. Like, what is up with that, guys? The last thing you want to do is feel around to try and stay cool. So I really like how intuitive and easy Toyota makes their climate control systems now. Just below that, we've got our little locker button that's also included with the TRD Off-Road Package. It's gonna lock those rear wheels up. They're gonna spin at the same time. Just kind of get you unstuck if you're out cruising in the sand or rock. So very cool, very capable, and very luxurious.
The second row passengers get their own climate controls, USB ports, heated and ventilated seats, 37.5 inches of headroom, and 39.2 inches of legroom. As you take a step back and sit in the third row, it is a bit tighter and remains usable with reclining seatbacks, but headroom is definitely limited.
Okay, so I have to say, completely unbiasedly, my favorite thing about this new generation Sequoia would have to be the powertrain. I was really expecting to be longing for that V8 growl and that V8, punch, but I'm really not missing it in the slightest because there is so much power that it is honestly surprising. You see those numbers written on paper and you're like, wow, that's a lot of horsepower and torque, but it's a 6,000 pound vehicle. Like, how is that going to equate when you're actually getting on the pedal? Well, I'm pleasantly surprised that this thing is so fast. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. There is almost, like, why would you need this much power in this vehicle? Which makes driving it really fun, but it also makes trying to reach those advertised miles per gallon numbers kind of hard to achieve because I'm always on the pedal just having fun with this thing. I love the way the suspension feels. It feels factory backed. It feels like they took the time to tune everything properly. There is a little bit of body roll, but I love the way it soaks up bumps. It feels composed. I don't feel like a bump is going to send me in a crazy direction. So yeah, ultimately I am just really blown away and loving the way that this new Sequoia drives.
Driving it feels like a mixed bag. The twin turbo V6 hybrid gives that V8-like growl and it's quick for its size.
On the highway, it tracks straight and feels really stable. Cruising at 80 miles per hour is nothing. Around town, the steering is very light and easy, but if I whip it aggressively, the ride can definitely get floaty with noticeable body roll. To me though, I mean, that just adds to that adventure spirit of having the off-road package. Fuel economy is officially better than the old V8, but in the real world, I'm seeing numbers that aren't far off from what the old engine managed, which makes the trade-off in cargo space for the hybrid system a bit harder to justify. But hey, at least it's got plenty of power, and at the end of the day, the Sequoia's driving experience is best suited for families who want a powerful, comfortable, and capable SUV for highway cruising, road trips, off-roading, and even towing, rather than buyers looking for sharp handling or maximum cargo flexibility.
Okay guys, so this thing has proven to kind of check a lot of boxes. We've got all the bells, all the whistles that we would want from a kind of Lexus, but here in a Toyota, and it is definitely attractive looking. But here's the thing, $83,600 out the door for our test vehicle. That's a lot of money, and I would love to hear what you guys think down below in the comments about it. Do you think that that price is worth what we're being offered this year? Let me know again down in the comments. Remember, everything we have said is subjective about this thing, so go on over to your local Toyota dealership, try one of these things for yourselves, and then let us know down below if maybe you agreed with some of our talking points. Remember, if you're in the market for a classic or collector vehicle, go on over to our website, classiccars.com. That's our online marketplace with over 38,000 listings live on the site. We've also have a sister website called autohunter.com. That's gonna be our 7-day online auction. But guys, that's pretty much it for the review. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in the next video. So thanks for watching.